Right now, this is Ticker News Insight.
Hello and welcome back to Ticker News Insight, where we are looking to focus on the best of business and gather ideas from clever people joining us from right around the world. I'm your host, Mike Loader, and to our latest story. An ASX-listed Beston global food company remains one of South Australia's largest and leading dairy companies, releasing a strong trading update for the first half of the financial year for 2023. And joining us now is Fabrizio George. It's good to see you, my friend. Thank you so much for joining me.
A pleasure, Mike. Good to have you here.
So Beston announced continued strong momentum. Can you talk through some of the highlights of your recent trading update that you wanted to share?
Thank you, Mike. Well, a very, very strong first 6 months of this financial year for us, Mike. We posted 3 record numbers in our organization. Number one, record sales, delivering almost $92 million, 35% ahead of the same period of last year. A 450% jump on our gross margins. The company is really emerging very well from the COVID-19 years. And finally, a stable and albeit is likely growth on our milk supply despite a national decline on the milk pool. So something for us to be very proud of.
Yeah, it's interesting times when you sort of take to it with a microscope. But reporting season for the ASX-listed companies has commenced, obviously, and some analysts saying and expecting other listed dairy players such as Bega, A2 Milk, to have downcast results, I understand. Given the current challenges of rising input costs, how have you and the team at Beston delivered such a strong trading update for the half? It's interesting.
So, Mike, we have been focused on 2 very important elements in our performance. Number one, we brought to life a significant capital investment in our operations, which is lactoferrin. So we announced to our shareholders that we shipped about 10 metric tons of lactoferrin in half one. So this is obviously an incredibly valuable part of the dairy portfolio. It's an ingredient used by not only these days infant formula companies, but also into the cosmetics industry, into personal care, into industries even like pet food these days. So I think the world is really discovering the benefits of lactoferrin, and I think Beston is in a great shape to do that. Obviously, paying attention to our cost structure has been critical, especially our operating expenses and so forth. I think we, again, are rising very strongly from the COVID days. And as they say, never waste a crisis on COVID and learn from those days. And that's what we've done.
Yeah, absolutely. Good advice there. So lactoferrin is obviously produced by you and the team at Beston, and it helps regulate how well iron is absorbed into the body, I understand. So an important part of all those industries you outlined. Its use cases are actually growing as well. What's Beston seeing in terms of demand? You touched on it briefly, but can we expand a little further?
Look, very strong demand now these days. I think lactoferrin has came from cycles, or let's say, of what I would personally describe boom and bust. But these days, clearly, we are seeing a stable, repeatable demand coming from multiple parts of the world. So we are, for example, exporting to Eastern Europe, Western Europe, even places like India, South Korea, Japan, and China. So obviously, there is a rediscovery of this beautiful ingredient. And as you said, I personally believe that is an element of the post-COVID world. I think products with that immunity claim are gaining momentum, especially with that iron absorption that you mentioned, Mike. So it is something, again, we are very bullish for the future. We, as part of our recent successful capital raise, we also announced a further expansion on production of lactoferrin. So we are putting a third column of extraction in our facilities. We'll take our production to another step change. So again, very excited about the future of this ingredient.
Very exciting times and very busy times for you and the team. So you recently appointed a new CFO, Nick Martin, I believe. What experience does he bring to the team in terms of executing Beston's strategy moving forward?
Look, Nick is no stranger personally for me, Mike. He comes with a massive dairy background, having worked with me in my Fonterra days here in Australia. He was part of of a team that actually helped the turnaround of Fonterra Australia in this country. So he's someone that understands dairy supply chains, the value chains extremely well, and I think he's going to bring that to our team. And someone that has an enormous charisma with the rest of the organization and great leadership. So that's what we're building, and what we value the most in the company. So.
Fabrizio, I want to thank you so much for joining me on the program, and of course wishing you and the team all the best for what lies ahead. It sounds like you guys are really ramping up production and there is a lot to get done. So I appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mike. A good morning to you.
And of course, thank you to all of you for tuning in. I hope you've taken something away from our discussion there. I've been your host, Mike Loader, and be sure to head to tickernews.co for breaking news coming to you from right around the world. I'll see you again very soon. Be well.